Valentina Sovkina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's very difficult for me to speak into the microphone because a lot of personal attention was sent to me, which of course is very pleasant. But I would like to say the following. Everything that's being said here at this platform is here to have a dialogue. This is a platform for a dialogue, specific dialogue between the indigenous peoples themselves and the representatives of their country's authorities. So let me emphasize the following. No matter what we pass here or discuss here, we always have the right to speak up for everyone who comes here. Very recently, in the morning, when the chair was opening the session, it was stated that there had been complaints from member states. The member states were unhappy that the indigenous people's representatives are occupying their seats. Well, let me say here, this is my opinion, that I think that tolerance need to be showed here, and the countries need to come to an agreement with the representatives of the indigenous peoples. When people come here, for example, and when they see the country name, that's where they go, and that's where they sit down, because they're certain that this way they will be seen and heard. And I think that that's a very right decision. Another thing here. Probably what we need here is to have a projection room where we can see with our own eyes films showing how people live, what problems, what situations they encounter there where they live. Perhaps this is just a proposal. Perhaps in the hallway, in the foyer, what we can have is a video screen which during a break, during a meeting, could show videos or films, high-quality films, about each of the peoples that we have here. This is a proposal of mine. Next, when it comes to the Russian Federation, we have heard a great deal today being said that everything's wonderful. Things are running smoothly, but I wanted to introduce one correction and say that what is being said by those who came here and say that everything is wonderful, well, we can have an expert assessment of that. I live in my own country. I live in my own on the land of Satmi, and there today 3 companies who had come into our small region: Rosatom, Polar Lithium, which is a subsidiary of Norilsk Lithium. And what we're witnessing today is our land being expropriation because the country needs lithium. Consultations are taking place either with the company itself or its representatives, the representatives who are nominated into representative councils, and people who had been prepared to come and on behalf of our people to come and say, yes, that's fine, you can take our land. We have reindeer grazing land, which is shrinking because people are saying that there are very fewer and fewer reindeer. After the Second World War, a moratorium was placed on killing the reindeer for the sole purpose of restoring their number, and 8,000 heads of reindeer had been restored and basically provided with the reindeer meat for the whole Russian Federation. What we have today is about 40,000 heads of reindeer, which shows the fact that the reindeer husbandry is disappearing, our culture and our traditions are disappearing. It was also said here today that tourism is developing wonderfully. It's true. Tourism is just expropriating our culture. And we are, what we are saying today is no one has a right to use our symbols, our costumes, our traditional knowledge. But I have written an open letter to the governor of our province asking for a roundtable to discuss that. There is a very good example of this, by the way, with Sami in Finland. The Sami parliament in Finland endorsed the ethical principles of Sami tourism. It's an excellent example of how the indigenous people can all use this example in their practice, where they can show who the indigenous people are, what can traditional knowledge be used for and what it cannot be used for. Next point. We're talking about languages here. Indeed, it was mentioned today that there are many languages which are disappearing. But there isn't a single school where you can say with certainty that people are learning our native language there. Last year, the year before last, we broached this issue. And I'm here refer to my specific people, Sami. We had a school, and there Sami language was to be taught. There hasn't been a single lesson. One optional class was introduced for the first grade students who are being introduced to the culture and language of Sami, but this is representative of nothing. How can you be talking about preserving the language then if basically every time we hear something positive, we know that there is a negative counterbalancing thing to that. So there's a lot of work to be done there. At the General Assembly last year, a proposal was put forward, according to which those countries which have not ratified ILO Convention 169, that they pay attention to this. And once again, I call upon the Permanent Forum, those who are responsible for that, please, I draw your attention to that and insist on the fact that those countries which have not ratified the ILO Convention, that they take it on as a basic main document. I'm sorry I've taken so much time, but I think that there are certain things that come from the heart. My grandmother always taught me not to ever run against one's own people, because we need to safeguard ourselves, our language, and our territories, and to do it for the future generations. I thank you.
I thank my esteemed colleague, Permanent Forum Member Valentina